Welcome to the Homo Motion Pictures. Today on the CineMan, we take a look at a single Cohen brother motion picture. That's right, Joel wanted no part of this, just Ethan. Called Drive Away Dolls, an 84-minute little lesbo road trip flicker seeing a Jamie and Marian being unknowingly pursued by criminals wanting to retrieve a valuable item left in the rental car taken by the two homosexual ladies, whom embark on a get your mind off things drive from the city of brotherly love to the Sunshine State's Tallahassee. Along the way, Jamie tries to get the OCD and over self stressed Marian to wind down as she encourages her to embrace her same sex urges by mingling with some friendly interstate folks on the stops. It's only a matter of time before they find out what's in the trunk of the car and why it is such an urgent possession for the criminals to reacquire. But if there's anything you need to know about the picture overall, it's that it proves Ethan is by far the inferior brother. Color Purple's Mr. Johnson, aka the Wrangling Rapist, aka Coleman Domingo, is the mob boss here, ordering his henchmen to chase after the road tripping main characters. Pedro Pascal has a bit role in the intro. That's going to be spoiler sealed. And then another big shot, Jason Bourne, shows up as a Texas politician in another small role. See like spoilers for more info there. But I find it safe to speculate. These two shiny stars must have said I'm only taking in a major role if both Cohens are leading the way. Rated R for crude sexual content, full nudity, a new rating descriptor around here as opposed to graphic nudity, language, and some violent content. Now let's transition to the evaluations of the comedy flicker. It doesn't flicker bright, by the way, but the so-called elitists think it wasn't dull neither. The big guns have this to say about Drive Away. It's a typical standard buddy joker, but with some good chemistry in the two lead actresses. It compares unfavorably to double cone brother crime comedies, but it's a somewhat unique young adult buddy road motion picture that leaves you enjoying most of the company you share with the duo. They've got some wit and observationalism worth taking in, and the criminals are a little fresh to follow, uneven and even hilly sometimes, but other times a smooth sailing ride cross country and even across your mind. They awarded a good, not bad rating of 6 of 10. The Everyman, on the other hand, contrasts with the smart ass is the casual 9 to 5 guy with a hard hat or maybe a mortgage thinks this is a mobile but bad version of the hilariously superior Bottoms of last year. They both share a plot point about mightily horny lesbians. The white main characters of each look similar. I even wrongly thought just from the driveway poster that the character Jamie was the same Rachel Sennett actress from Bottoms, but it falls flat where Sennett and I, the Black Bottoms girl succeed. It's mostly unfunny. The girls have unattractive and or wooden character, lack charm, and are sometimes annoying. They try to be funny with non-stop quick-witted dialogue that results in little likability. Their hollow selves wrongly think they're deep. The bad guys have some comedy and originality to them. They're a little more interesting than the good girls. They engage you enough, but you wish their character arcs grew even greater than they did. And overall, their jokes don't warrant big enough laughs. They feel like the main characters are cancelled after one season dopey Fox crime comedy show that no one asked for. On the whole, some of DAD isn't forgettable, but a lot of it is. Shall we say, shades of meaninglessness. The average Joe rates the dolls an ugly 3.5. We'll now transition to the good and bad section of the review. First positive about driving away. The first scene is a sex one between Jamie and Carla, the latter whom shows off such giant kahunas after we see her big-breasted body thrust back and forth from separate provocative angles, much like a porno motion picture clip, with the strained moans and groans of pain and pleasure. Men were all like that, as well as other lesbos. The Motion Picture Association of America used to have a hard time with such big titty advertising, but nowadays it seems like anything goes. It's sad but horrifying how times change. Next up, on less nude occasions, if you have obsessive compulsive disorder, you will find it very funnily relatable when the OCD Marian tells a male coworker in her first scene to not say one of those trigger words of hers. Anywho, because she considers it such a meaningless filler word. He is slightly taken aback until the man later gets back at her in same convo by calling out a funny word she keeps saying, engagement. I have an engagement tomorrow night that prevents me from having dinner with you instead. No one says the word engagement, he laments as a mirror to her anywho criticism. That's a weird thing to say. And then her crazy ass replies, do I tell you how to speak? And it would have been funnier, I tell ya, if he had said, yes, you fucking do, anywho, boo. But instead he gives a shy, quiet yes answer to end the word judging contest. Anywho, next on the likes section, The following point was not as much funny as it was refreshing to watch. The pursuing henchmen, Alice and Flint, both cool names, barge into the house of Jamie's ex-girlfriend. Flint angrily demands information from her, whom overpowers and subdues him into a chokehold. The peaceful henchman, Alice, then talks to her and asks the investigative questions kindly instead, having not wanted to hurt her in the first place, while telling his partner that he should always try to avoid violence. This is a little recurring theme in the two henchmen's relationship. Flint resorts to threats of force too easily because he doesn't know better, while Alice is very friendly to everyone he ever needs to talk to, consistently giving good people skill lectures to furious Flint. It makes for a shame what happened to all of them in the end, thus. The protagonists go through a similar teacher-student relationship on the road as the bad guy duo. After an awkward interaction between the coppers and Marian, Jamie tells her she needs to learn to read social cues to be able to not piss off any more 5-0 again, due to it motivates them to look for an excuse to arrest her, as almost had happened. Then she briefly and smartly refers to the Fifth Amendment by saying, "Keep your mouth shut and just say yes, sir, to everything." She's a smart woman. It's a slightly educational scene. The Fifth Amendment is a big deal. Avoid at all costs telling the boys in blue anything wrong you may have done is one of her points. Just get the interaction over ASAP with prompt courtesy. They're both smart characters in different ways. This is one of those they both need each other flickers. Now for the spoiler zone, we briefly examine Jason Bourne's role. He shows on the poster, which you would conclude makes him one of the leading stars of the Joker picture. Instead, he only shows up at the end as a corrupt Republican Texas senator that works with the mob. The homo duo had instantly rented a car that has incriminating and career-ruining material for him hidden in the trunk. Dildos molded from other big shots' penises, and Pedro Pascal's severed head. All he did in the joke picture was get killed at the beginning, by the way. In the end, the gay dames directly call on Senator Bourne to extort him for the bodacious items. They meet up at a gay bar to make the exchange for 1 million big ones. He shows up with his southern accent, angry he has to pay off the condemned to hell demonic lifestyle broads, despite his mysterious sexual hobbies. Then the pompous penis plastering politician instead decides to clean his hands of the whole situation by trying to whack them both. He fails, and then the press and the public are given word of the scandalous phalluses and practical Belfry. A comically inexplicable adjusted character for Will Hunting, just another guest appearance to add some validity to the otherwise flaccid outing of the road picture. We are as well treated immediately afterward to the pleasantly relieving sight gag of a conclusive newspaper headline. Senator shot outside lesbian bar, was carrying a human head. Plaster penises. I can explain, says recovering legislator. Which, as we know, is what they all say. And to imagine Private Ryan saying that cliche excuse works better in the imaginary ears over the real white noise made by most of the characters in the bright burning talkie. I hope the fictional lawmaker was able to explain and go back on to spitting on the dignity of same sexes as the elected people pleasers do. As it is, the picture takes place in the year 1999 before the pervasive version of cancel culture emerged. Such a literary footnote is one of the only memorable quotes to come away from the inferior work of a big shot compared under his and brothers' No Country for Old Men, Burn After Reading, Fargo, and The Big Lebowski. Let's remember the better times for them. But until then, cheerio, lads. Now for the quick, brief blooper reel, folks. Our first ever for the CineMan, which for now is really just a quick swearing reel. Fuck. 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 She considered. Fuck. 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 Oh, telling the boys and. Fuck. 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 Damn. Fuck.